Hello everybody and welcome to the Old Gold and Black for this one last little look through the 2017-18 season. A fantastic season to look back on, and maybe one that I've slightly delayed putting together because of other things, but I'm really excited to share this with you. These are maybe not the best moments, maybe not the best goals, all of them, but some really important moments, and I thought I'd just do these little bits in between some of the games to just talk through why I've chosen these particular moments. First moment I've picked is Ruben Neves' goal against Hull City. Now those of you who are there will remember just how unbelievable it was. We didn't really know what Neves was capable of at this point. We'd seen a couple of amazing passes that had crossed the field and stuff to Doherty against Middlesbrough and Derby, but he was still a bit of an unknown entity, and this goal just showed us what he's capable of.
Overhit though, all the way to the other side. Wolves keep hold of it though. Strike from long range, oh what a goal! What a start for Wolves! One of the best goals of the season so far, there's no doubt about it. Ruben Neves, 6 minutes into this game with his first Wolves goal. A stunning strike.
So having had a fairly decent start to the season, this next moment I think really stands out for me in terms of the character that the team has got and how much they had to fight for this result. Against Barnsley they didn't play particularly well and took them a long time to break them down. Ena Bakari finally got Wolves ahead in the game, and then from a bit of sloppy play Barnsley were back in it, and then it took until the last kick of the game for Alfred Ndiaye to score his first goal for Wolves.
Still a twist in the tail. Wolves pushing forward. It's a very good first touch into the penalty area, and Ndiaye has won it for Wolves. The substitute seals all 3 points for the hosts. Late on at Molineux.
And then in October, the memorable game against Aston Villa, a game which will live long in the memory of all Wolves fans. Pre-season favourites for the title, Aston Villa, against Wolves, who were bidding to go top of the table that night. In the first half, Wolves battered Villa and they played really well, and Villa looked poor, but Wolves just couldn't make the chances, or couldn't take the chances to win the game. And it took until this moment from Diogo Jota to put Wolves ahead, and then Bonatini, of course, making it 2-0.
Doherty. Worked this nicely. Comes through to Jota. Jota with the opportunity! Wolves strike first, and it's their main man who has the goal. Molineux's bouncing. Flag didn't go up, and Jota finished, as he so often does, perfectly. It is a 7th goal of the season for the 20-year-old. And at the moment, Wolves are heading top of the Championship.
Now the next game I've picked is the Reading game. It's a game that had 3 key moments, I think. The first goal the Wolves scored from Ivan Cavaleiro, a fantastic through ball from Jota, great bit of skill from Cavaleiro to take it around the goalkeeper and then slot it away. Then there was a magnificent save from Jordan Ruddy near the end of the game to keep it at 1-0. It was a good performance from Reading. Wolves didn't play badly, but they were second best, I think, for most of the game. And then the third key moment was, of course, Doherty cutting in from the right hand side onto his left foot and making it 2-0 and just sealing the 3 points, and a vital 3 points in November, which was the Wolves' first win in November for about 1,000 years, I think. And then that set the foundations for the month that really took Wolves to the title.
Cavaleiro wants it back. Flag stays down. Cavaleiro. It's a truly splendid finish. What a lovely team move, but a lovely as well moment of individualism. What composure Cavaleiro showed. Demonstration of his quality. It's a majestic finish. So coolly done. Jota, the architect, the weight of the pass was supreme. But how about this? Does him with the eyes, rolls his studs over the ball. Wolves lead by a goal to 0.
And to round off the month of November, Wolves played against Bolton, who was struggling at the time, and they beat them 5-1 on the back of a 4-1 win earlier in that week against Leeds. And this was one of the most amazing goals of the season, I thought. John Ruddy straight over the top to Jota, who slotted it away to make it 5-1.
John Ruddy with the kick out. Are they going to get a fifth goal from the kick out? They are! It's 5-1. Diogo Jota's 9th league goal of the season.
Now the next moment is not a particularly memorable moment at all in terms of a match. It was a very forgettable game in mid-December against Sheffield Wednesday away from home. But it did have an outstanding goal from Ruben Neves, and also just showed the sort of gritty and determination that Wolves needed in that period of the season to get the points on the board.
Wednesday will feel a little aggrieved that that's been given against them. Cleared away initially. Neves with the strike! Finds the bottom corner. Wolves have the lead. Ruben Neves with a wonderful hit from range. There will be questions about the free kick that led to the goal, but no questions about the quality of the finish. That's a wonderful hit. Will Smith beaten all ends up as it worked its way through the crowd of bodies, and he picked a spot perfectly.
And then to end the month of December, probably most people's favourite away game, or what certainly one of three, the Bristol City away game. A sort of game that, as it was happening, felt like a classic. You had Danny Bart getting sent off early on in the game, Nuno sent to the stands, Wolves went 1-0 down, and that was at a time where Bristol were breathing down our necks. They were in good form. They'd just beaten Manchester United in the League Cup quarter-final, so they were in very decent form, and they got a little bit carried away with themselves and took their foot off the pedal a little bit, and then they got battered by Villa a couple of days later, and that really ended their promotion charge.
Douglas, I think, will be eyeing this one up again. He hit the post in the first half and he scored in the second half. It seemed to go straight under steel. I don't know whether it got a touch on the way through. It looked like it may well have done. First action for the new goalkeeper, and where it went into the net suggested really that maybe he should have saved it. It did get a touch which didn't help him, but even so, it's a bad one for the keeper. Wolves though are level. Nice angle on it. Whipped into the far post where it finds Bennett, who's won it for Wolves, surely. Celebrations from the manager. What a dramatic game we've had here. And that looks like being the final say. And Wolves have had it. Really good free kick. Tons of pace on it. But there are two defenders tracking Bennett back in there, or rather they're not. That's the problem. And he nods it in. Just look at Nuno.
Then the most impressive thing for me after that Bristol City game was the response to it then 2 or 3 days later against Brentford. Because we've seen in the past Wolves have a magnificent result like that and then not follow it up by having a winnable game, and particularly at home. But they did that, and they played so well against Brentford.
Neves standing over this one. Takes it right-footed and into the top corner. What a fantastic free kick. The Wolves want more. Martini goes wide to the substitute Cavallero, and he finds Douglas. What a finish on his right foot. 2 goals in 2 minutes.
My next highlight comes from the start of February, game against Sheffield United, who had started the season really well and were potential sort of promotion chasers. Ended up just missing out on the playoffs, but at this point they were round about 7th place, and it looked like it was going to be a tough game. They were one of the only teams to have beaten Wolves at that point, but it took a magnificent goal from Ruben Neves to beat them, and then Wolves went from strength to strength in that game.
Going to steady the ship at home as well. Cavallero lays it back. Oh, it's a brilliant hit. Ruben Neves breaks the deadlock after 5 minutes. Wolverhampton Wanderers have the advantage in spectacular fashion. What a way to break the deadlock as the Molineux erupts in celebration. Time to pick his spot, and he found it perfectly. No chance for Simon Moore, the Sheffield United keeper. Here's Neves. Turn by Caballero. He will find space with white shirts around him. Made across by Costa. Back again to the number 17. The ball to the top of the box. It's beautiful one-touch passing. It's a magnificent goal. Wolves double the advantage. Jota tucking it away to complete the move. Nuno Espirito Santo celebrates. My goodness, he deserves to take all the applause for the style of football that Wolves are playing this season. We've seen some magical moments this year at the Molineux already. This is one of the best. Quick, short, sharp passing, unselfish, and Jota tucks it away. Wolves in the ascendancy and totally dominating Sheffield United. It's Wolves 2, Sheffield United 0.
So following that game against Sheffield United, there was a disappointing draw against Norwich City, a defeat against Fulham, then the postponed game against Reading because of the snow. So it had been a long time since Wolves had played, and there was a lot of tension building around the ground and around the fans until it came to this game against Leeds, which was live on Sky, and a lot of tension was eased. And in particular, this moment was my favourite moment. Afobe coming back to Wolves on loan, hadn't scored in a long time, and finally took his chance here against Leeds.
Is there a way back into this game for Leeds United? Afobe just holds the ball up off the bench, and he wants a goal. Afobe, what a finish that is! Benik Afobe with his first goal back at Wolves. On loan from AFC Bournemouth, and he has his first league goal since April last year. What was Peacock Farrell doing? He didn't need to come out. The pace from Afobe gave him the opportunity, and he made the most of it, lobbing the goalkeeper. Perfect precision and weight on the ball. And it lands in the back of the net.
Then there was a disappointing defeat against Aston Villa in their big cup final, which they didn't then follow up with. The results, they dropped points where we picked up points against Reading and against Burton, and that extended the gap then before the international break. And after the international break, Wolves played against Middlesbrough on Good Friday on Sky, and was probably one of the tensest games I have ever watched. Wolves getting 2 players sent off, down to 10 men. And this, I think, is the key moment in the game. It was 2-1 at the time, and Connor Cody takes one to the face to keep it at 2-1, and he wins the Man of the Match award as a result of that magnificent performance.
Here it comes again. Bennett away. Great block there by Cody, and flashed wide by Downing. Sace looking over the top here. And there's the full-time whistle. Look at what it means for Nuno Espirito Santo here as he sprints onto the field to congratulate his players. It was nervy late on as Borough got a goal back after Wolves had 2 sent off, but Costa and Caballero win it for the away side. It has finished Middlesbrough 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2.
And after the physical, mental and emotional exertion after the Middlesbrough game, Wolves went on to play Hull on a Tuesday night, and with missing Neves and Doherty, we realised their importance in the team. And this young man, who we might never see in a Wolves shirt again, Oscar Burr Rasmussen, came on because Wolves were struggling in that right wing position, and he popped up with a little header to equalise at 2-2, and proved to be a vital point at the time, just to keep that momentum going, because you didn't want a defeat in between the Middlesbrough and the Cardiff game.
Afobe and Douglas on the overlap. Douglas, his cross is deflected, and it's headed in. It's the equaliser. And Wolves are back on level terms. And from the most unlikely of sources too.
It's Oscar Burr, the substitute.
And what can I say about this game? The Cardiff City match was just one of those where if you're going to write down a script for the most dramatic football match, you wouldn't even think of putting this in because it would be too far-fetched. 2 penalties missed in the last minute or so. It was just extraordinary, and we'll never see that again. But just to come back into the game a little bit more, the goal itself from Ruben Neves was just superb. He'd had a bit of a sight a couple of minutes before this, and it'd gone miles over the bar, and I think Cardiff perhaps didn't take him as seriously as they should have done for the second free kick, and the goalkeeper didn't quite get over to it. But before that game, it was very, very close, and it was very... had Cardiff have won, they'd have moved to within 3 points of Wolves with a game in hand. So it was a massive, massive game, and if you think now about the penalties at the end, it defies sort of natural football logic that sort of tension and that sort of atmosphere could be dealt with by those players. But it was a magnificent, magnificent performance.
It's Neves for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and that's a little bit special. It's a wonderful goal from the 21-year-olds, which sums up his and Wolves' season. Pinpoint accuracy. Etheridge does get a right hand on it, but it doesn't prove sufficient. And the Premier League is oh so very close now for Wolves. Gary Medine yet to score in Cardiff colours. Steps up from 12 yards, and John Ruddy makes the save. It's delight for Wolves, disbelief for Cardiff. Their lead remains intact. Ruddy making himself big. It's Hoylett off the crossbar. It's astonishing. And there goes the full-time whistle. Cardiff's unbeaten run comes to a dramatic conclusion. Wolverhampton Wanderers are within touching distance of Premier League football.
And then on to Derby County, and one of the best goals that we've ever seen as Wolves fans from a Wolves player. Magnificent, and it wasn't a fluke because we saw him do it then a couple of days later on Soccer AM. Ruben Neves just proved that he was a class above everybody else in the Championship on that day. Fantastic control from the outside of his foot, and then a volley into the top corner. We'll never see a goal like that again. And quite fittingly, it was our last goal as a Championship team, because then on the Saturday tea time, Brentford and Fulham played out a 1-1 draw, which promoted Wolves before the Birmingham City game on the Sunday.
Cleared out. As far as Neves calls for shoot again. Oh, what an incredible goal! Wow! Ruben Neves. Not only the goal of the season, but possibly one of the best of all time in the EFL. Absolutely world class. Sets it up for himself and then volleys it into the top corner past Carson. Neves is some way out when he decides to strike this ball. Tees himself up. An outrageous effort. A stunning goal. Carson with absolutely no chance. Into the top corner. And that really is a special goal from Ruben Neves.
And my final favourite moment of this season was Conor Coady's penalty against Bolton. 3-0 up, Cruz in the game. A Phobie, I think possibly on a hat-trick, I can't quite remember. But the ball was given to Coady and a chance to score. Having been such a great leader and a great captain through the season, he stepped up and he put it away with consummate ease, having missed a penalty against Manchester City earlier on in the season in the penalty shootout there. But he took it really, really well. And it was really, really great afternoon, really happy afternoon. Again, against a team that had given us some heartbreak in previous years. It was good to get one over on Bolton.
And Coady tucks it home. His first of the season. Puts the icing on the cake for Wolves' Championship victory party here. They are 4-0 up. With still 24 minutes to play And they could so easily get more. That is the full-time whistle. As if it was ever in doubt, really. Nuno Espirito Santo's side can add the championship title to their promotion campaign. They've done it in some style on the road. 4-0 victors thanks to Douglas Afobe, Jota and Conor Cody. League winners after 9 years without a trophy. But once again, as it was 9 years ago, they are champions of the championship. The Premier League beckons, and this wonderful footballing side gets their just desserts after a wonderful season in English football's second tier. The final score, Bolton Wanderers 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 4. It's the moment Wolves fans have been waiting for. Danny Bart and Conor Cody lift the Sky Bet Championship trophy, crowned champions in the second to last game of the season on home soil. They weren't going to get away with it for too long. Nuno Espirito Santo and his backroom staff covered in champagne. What an impact this manager has had, and what a season that Wolverhampton Wanderers have had. Champions of the championship.
So there you have it. There's my favourite moments, if you like, from last season. Let me know your favourite moments in the comment section down below. But this is a channel that's thinking about the future now and moving on, and very much looking forward to what next season brings. I think there's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of big results, a few big scalps as well, and hopefully we can upset the Premier League table as well and finish a little bit higher than mid-table, I'm hoping. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.